What's going on, friends? Logan Myers here for Cinefellas.com. Tonight I'm going to be talking about the brand new docuseries that hit ESPN about the greatest basketball team of all time. I'm talking about the Chicago Bulls from the 90s and The Last Dance. So I want to start off by saying I'm a huge Bulls fan, and I grew up in the 90s, growing up with the great basketball team, the Chicago Bulls, the introduction of Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, John Paxson, B.J. Armstrong, Bill Cartwright, Horace Grant in the early 90s, winning the first three-peat, and then later on with the Bulls in the second three-peat with Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc, Luke Longley, Dennis Rodman, all the great players. I grew up with both teams, and it's a really fantastic time to be alive, and it was a totally different game back then. They just beat the shit out of one another. There was a lot of really great teams out there, the bad boys of Detroit Pistons in the early 90s, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman, Charles Oakley. You had the Lakers, the Celtics. There's a lot of really great teams. Even the New York Knicks, too, one of the rivalries of Chicago over the years. So there's a lot of really great teams. And the setup of the documentary, this is a focus on Michael Jordan. This is Michael Jordan's story, essentially, in this docu-series. The first episode is really focused on MJ, how he got started. He played in North Carolina for the Tar Heels, one of my favorite college teams, and seeing how he got into the NBA, being drafted by the Bulls. And it took a while to really find his footing with the team and for them to build championship basketball team. So it's really great setup of this, seeing Michael Jordan back in the early days to the last season being The Last Dance, with the final season, all the guys together winning a championship, including Phil Jackson being the coach. So the first episode really sets that up. You get a feel of this documentary, of them kind of going back and forth, in the 80s to the early 90s to the later 90s. This is a really well done documentary. A lot of these players I remember watching growing up, and I was thinking, I'm like, whatever happened to them? So it's really great to see, Horace Grant, again, B.J. Armstrong, guys on other teams like Charles Oakley, and you had Gary Payton from the Supersonics, and just the list goes on. A lot of players I haven't seen in a long time, so it's good to see them, on this documentary, talking about MJ playing the Bulls back then and how tough they were. Throughout each episode in this documentary, we kind of get a feel for a different player, different person. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman is probably one of my favorite episodes of the series. How he started off in Detroit, and he was really normal looking, and then he went to the San Antonio Spurs, and he kind of started getting all the tattoos and crazy hair, and how he ended up in Chicago. He really found his calling. He found his true self through Madonna when he was dating her. And we see that in episode 3 where he starts getting rebellious and crazy and just over the top. One of the best rebounders in basketball history, NBA history. He's just a really, really awesome player, and he was really great fit for the Bulls in that second run for the three-peat. And you really see that in the documentary. And then other episodes, you see kind of Phil Jackson. He was more of a hippie. He's really into Native American culture, and he would use that as a coach to help his players get in the right mindset to go and play and be the best they could be. And he is one of the greatest coaches of all times, and one of my favorite coaches for sure. I love Phil Jackson. It's cool seeing how cool and calm he is. He's just talking about stories back in the day, and how he started off as a Bulls assistant coach, and where he basically became the head coach over time. He was good friends with Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause is a piece of shit, and they really depict that in the documentary. Getting a lot of the good players, bringing the players into the league and on the Bulls, but he just seemed like a scumbag, and nobody really liked him, and a lot of the Bulls players were always talking shit to him. A guy that you really couldn't trust, and he was always looking out for himself. And I don't think he was really looking out for the Bulls organization. And besides that, the rest of the series, you see more interviews with players in the past, and seeing a lot of interviews, players now, them talking about how they played against MJ back in the day, and MJ would have his own little tablet watching the interviews, talking about MJ and playing him, and they still had this huge rivalry. They still hate each other, and it all has to do with the Bulls beating the Pistons back in the early 90s, and the Pistons not shaking the Bulls' hand. They just walked off the court. Total disrespect, and that pissed Michael Jordan off. To this day, he still does not like the Pistons or, Isaiah Thomas. And I just love, there's so many memes about this documentary of MJ just laughing, watching his tablet. And it's really funny because he has a glass of whiskey next to his seat, and you kind of see throughout the documentary he's opening up more and getting more emotional, and you notice there's less in his drink, opening up about his past and everything he went through as a player, his competitive nature, and really building a championship team with basically two different teams in the early 90s and the later 90s. So you see in the mind of Michael Jordan behind being the greatest basketball player of all time and one of the greatest teams of all time. You see who he is as a person. One of the biggest parts of Michael Jordan's life was his father. They were extremely close, and we see in the documentary how his father was always there in the early days until he was murdered, which I didn't remember that part. MJ was done with the game at that point. They won 3 championships. He really needed to cope and get over the loss of his best friend being his father in such a tragic way. And you see MJ like, I'm done. I've conquered everything I wanted to do with this game. I have so much money, you know, with endorsements, you know, losing his father. He's like, I'm done. So he took a break, and then he eventually started playing baseball for a little while. That was his first love. You know, being a kid, he always played baseball, and he talked to his father before he passed away about going back into baseball. And his father was like, do it, you know. That was a sport you were into as a kid. Go, you know, be done with basketball and do something else with your life, something that makes you happy. And MJ does go play baseball for a while. I do remember that, and the White Sox and all that. And I'm like, just not a good fit, MJ. You're way better at basketball. So with him stepping away from the NBA for a while, the Bulls didn't really do too well. They didn't win any more championships. They didn't have their star player, Michael Jordan, being there. And, you know, MJ was in baseball shape. He wasn't all built to play basketball. So he eventually comes back, you know, realizing he missed the game. He missed that competitiveness of playing against all these rivalries, these really bad teams like the Magic, the Supersonics, the Jazz, the Knicks, the Pacers. And that leads up to the Last Dance being the last season of the Bulls, of all the crew together. This is it. Jerry Krause didn't want Phil Jackson around anymore. He wanted to rebuild the team. We know MJ goes on to play with the Wizards for a while, and then Scottie Pippen, players get traded. So this is it, all or nothing basically, and we see the final season, which was super intense. It's really interesting to see behind the scenes what these guys were going through, their competitive nature, what they had to do to train physically and mentally to get to that mindset to be champions. I remember the last season of the Bulls, 97-98, more than any season, because it was all on the line. This is it. We knew that we weren't going to see this team together again, so there was a lot more on the line. And, you know, these guys training and being the best team they could, and they really kicked ass in the final season. You know, them playing the Jazz, Utah Jazz. Karl Malone, I fucking hate that guy, the mailman, piece of shit. There's some videos online about that guy. I'm not going to get into it, but he's not a good person. And I'm really glad they beat the Jazz in the final series. It was so awesome. John Stockton was really cool. He came up in the documentary. It's cool seeing that guy again. One of the best point guards of all time, and he was really a pivotal part for the Jazz making it to the NBA championship. And it really brings back all the feelings of being in the 90s with everything going on today. You know, the riots, the pandemic, just a shitty time. 2020, one of the worst years ever, and you know, revisiting the 90s to a much happier time, just enjoying a basketball team, the best players in the world, the best players of all time, just conquering one team after the next, you know, taking this journey with them, how they got to where they were. And it took a lot of hard work and dedication, a lot of training and working out, and trying to get in the right mindset to be champions. And it's really a great adventure seeing the Bulls back when they were really shitty in the 80s, and they were starting to build the team with MJ being the rookie, and him learning a lot over the years to build a championship team. And then, you know, for the first three-peat to the second three-peat, you know, they've been through a lot, you know, 2 different teams basically, and they all kind of overcome all these obstacles. All the players do. They all have different issues than problems like most normal people, and they have to overcome that and be the best they can. As you can see with this attire here, me being a Bulls fan, they are the greatest team of all time. There's no comparison to any of the, you know, Kobe Bryant, Lakers, LeBron, all his teams. It's a completely different game now, and you can't compare the two. But in my honest opinion, I think the Bulls are the greatest team of all time. Both teams, 6 championships. They couldn't be beat. They were just top of their game. The best player of all time, Michael Jordan, leading the crew. So with The Last Dance, I didn't really know what to expect. I'm not huge on sports documentaries. I haven't watched basketball in a while, just not really that interested in the game anymore. It's just a completely different game, like I was saying. It's a different mentality now. It seems like it's more focused on money than it is the game, and the players just can't beat the shit out of each other like they used to in the 90s and not get called for a foul. And with technology being implemented now with cameras and instant replay, they can't pull off all the dirty shit they did back in the day. Yeah, completely different game, but I just love growing up in this era. It brought some happiness, some nostalgia for me, you know, being in 2020, just kind of a depressing year, and just returning to that era when I, you know, was a kid growing up and feeling happy and loving basketball and loving the players, and it was just a good vibe, and they did it all for the game, and it wasn't about the money. It was just about the love of basketball, and I really love that, love revisiting that this year. So I love how you can see MJ off the court and then on the court, basically 2 completely different people, but a person that all around is just a great human being, great role model, great businessman, and obviously greatest basketball player of all time. So overall, The Last Dance, I had an absolute blast with this. 10 episodes. I was super hooked on it. It was great revisiting the 90s and seeing the greatest basketball team of all time, seeing behind the scenes of these championship seasons, seeing all these players, what they went through over the years, seeing MJ really conquer the league and the court and where he started, where he ended, and he was on top of the world, one of the biggest celebrities of all time, the most famous person in the world at one time in the 90s. He was in Space Jam. He did a lot of great commercials. The camera work in this documentary is really well done. I love the music. There's a really great playlist on Spotify for The Last Dance. I've been listening to a lot of 90s hip-hop and rap and things like that. A really great soundtrack in this documentary. Really the only complaint I had about this is the back and forth. It's a little bit too much at times and it feels like you've already seen this. They go back and forth in the early 90s to the last season, and sometimes it just didn't really feel like it was needed, and they're kind of going back and forth. But besides that, everything in this documentary was really well done, and it's a series I got hooked on, and I highly recommend it if you guys have not seen it. So I'm going to give The Last Dance on ESPN a 5 out of 5 MJ hair pieces. So if you guys have seen the brand new documentary, The Last Dance, what did you like about it? What did you like about it? What did you guys think of that ending the final season of those wild Chicago Bulls? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myers signing out, my mate up here, MJ. Until the next video review. Cheers!